agency, which is continuous improvement. And it begins with the process of understanding where you're at, how you're seen by your clients, how you're seen by those processes and units in-house that are service related, that are contingent upon your outputs or your production of your activities, such as expert recruitment or the implementation of our activities. So it's how we see ourselves collectively and as well as within our units, and how we can measure our improvement, how we can define and measure our improvement over time. And it's a very innovative way of managing, and something I think that we can all learn from. This is a process now that I think the intention here is that we would listen to your group, provide it with some feedback, and then based on that feedback, then there'd be a broader audience. So in a sense, we're sort of a pilot for this exercise, and part of a much bigger process in the agency to recognize where we're at and where we need to go to improve. So I said that. Would you like to say something, Javier?
Just 2 words, if I may. Basically, that we really, as a system, as a department, we really want to do these kind of things with many perspectives, because there are many ways of measuring things, there are many ways of approaching to this topic, and as much as they are systematic, they are proved, and they are piloted and tested in these kind of occasions, we will find the way to use them, of course, for the world system as much as possible. And I think it's a good initiative from the division, Latin America division, for conducting this briefing. Thank you.
It's more than 2 words.
Mathematics, I'm not very good.
You have the floor.
Okay, well, first, thank you very much for coming. It's a very short presentation, so I hope you don't get tired. The model that I want to present to you is called the EFQM Excellence Model 2010. Now, what is EFQM? EFQM stands for European Foundation for Quality. Now, European means that the model was developed in Europe for Europe, and a bit to counter, because at that time when it was created, like 20 years ago, there was this Japanese movement that was very, very strong. So the European Commission thought, okay, we have to do something to increase the competitiveness of European organizations, and so that's how it came. The foundation is a non-for-profit foundation. Is based in Brussels, and they are actually the custodians of the model. The model was created. I mean, you could perhaps think that it's a model that it's quite academic, but it is not, and I will tell you why. Most models that we can see in the literature are developed by some guru that, in fact, they don't have any they are not related with the real life challenges. But this model was created by practitioners, 14 CEOs that joined forces, and they know, from experience, they know what are the difficulties facing organizations. So this is not an academic model. It's divided in 2 parts, as you will see. The enablers part and the result part. Now the question was, is the model really working? Is it making a difference? So you can see here the answer. The gray bars represent the award winners, because the EFQM has awards for the excellent organizations. And the black bars represent the benchmark firms. So you will see the striking differences. And you can think also that these differences, the chance that observing these differences by pure chance is like 1 to 200. So there is really a great relation between an organization's performance and these little points, like this is like an atom. And these points here represent the fundamental concepts. These are 8 fundamental concepts. that excellent organizations have to address. Then this is the core. This is the most recognizable part of the model. These are these blocks with the 9 criteria. Yeah, leadership, processes, strategies, and so on. And the third basic aspect of the model is this, the nucleus. This is the core, this is the nucleus. This is called the radar. The radar is assessment framework. So here we will see what are these fundamental concepts where you can check because an organization, in order to really benefit from the use of the model, they first have to debate if they believe in these concepts. So we will go one by one, and you can check internally whether you achieving balanced results. Balanced results means that you achieve, the organization achieves both the long-term and the short-term goals and expectations of the stakeholders. Adding value for customers, of course, we all agree. But to add value for the customers, we have to know what are their needs. And we have to also know how their needs are changing over time. Leading with vision, inspiration, and integrity. Well, leaders shape the future, and they have to make it happen. Managing by processes, of course, also clear. That implies that the processes have to be aligned with the current strategies of the organization. Succeeding through people. I think this is my favorite. Because as everybody recognizes, people are the most valuable asset of an organization. However, sometimes it's quite a theory and not really practiced. So how do you do that? That people are inspired, that they are committed, that they do their best. This is a question, no? And I would say that the way to inspire people is to have them using their talents to the best. It means that the organization has to align the personal interests and aspirations of the people. And when I say people, it's always employees, yeah? Because the model uses the word people, but it's always employees. So you have to, the organization has to align these aspirations and talents of the people, of the employees, with the strategic needs of the organization. Yeah, innovation, continuous innovation. How is it possible? It's only possible if you have some mechanism in place to harness the creativity of the people. Yeah, up down. This is very important. Otherwise, there is really no continuous innovation. Building partnerships. Now, these partnerships, we have to focus on mutual benefit. Because if there is no mutual benefit, there is no partnership. Taking responsibility for a sustainable future. And a sustainable future, responsibility in terms of economic, social, and ecological sustainability. And how do you do that? Embedding in the culture of the organization highest standards. So these all fundamental concepts that I mentioned are really not new stuff. But the question is, do we really practice that? We can go to the next. So we will see model framework. That was the first aspect, what's the fundamental concept. Now this is the core, the model framework. As I was explaining, this is divided into two parts, the enablers and the results. The enablers, you have leadership, people, strategy, partnerships, resources, processes, services, and products. All these are what the organization does and how it does this. And the result part, it's clear in terms of people results, customer results, society results, and key results. So what the organization does, what the organization achieves. Now with this framework, you can see the cause relationship between what the organization does and what are the results that it's getting. Yeah? And if you need to change something in the results part, you have to address something in the enablers part. Now you see this is a dynamic framework because the results are caused by the enablers. Yeah? The enablers can be then improved through the feedback and through learning and innovation and creativity. So you improve, you get the feedback from the results, you do something to improve, and then these improvements will get better results. Yeah, so this is the dynamic. Use this model, the EFQM uses the called self-assessment. And self-assessment, we will see then later, is a key aspect to have on this board. This is the radar. Here is this part. Yeah. Radar means results, approaches, deployment, assessment, and refinement. So in order for an organization to be successful, it has first to define what are the results they want to achieve, then figure out what are the approaches that will get those results, then deploy those approaches, and then you have to assess the impact of the use of the approaches, not only the approaches, but also the deployment. Now we use this for the assessment of each of these criteria, like leadership, processes, partnerships, people management, and so on. We use this framework to assess all these individual parts. Now, for example, if we assess, say, the criteria of leadership, we want to know first what we want in the area of leadership. An example, leaders have to develop and communicate mission and vision of the organization. Yeah? So this is the one result in the area of leadership. Now, what are the approaches that the organization uses to achieve that? You see, okay, we have a vision and a mission developed. This is fine. Now, how do you deploy it? We have it maybe in the TC website. Now you assess, is this deployment the correct one? Are people inspired because our mission and vision is in the TC website? Then you refine the approach and search for something that will produce the results that you want, that is inspiring people leading with vision and mission. So this is a concrete example. These are the benefits of using the model. Now I don't want to go and read all of them because you will get bored. So I have a homework for you. I will give you this paper with the benefits of the model, and then each of you select the 3 most important benefits that you consider. Yeah? And then we will discuss a bit what are your perceptions, what are most important benefits.